I'm Paul,
I'm Devin.
and together we're Dads and Dice, two brand new dads who like to play some games when the grandparents are watching the kids.
Yeah, and we just got done with this game. Got done playing with our good friend Joe from Board Games with Two. If you didn't check out that playthrough, it'll be linked to this video. You should definitely check it out. And now we're just gonna kind of give our thoughts on this game.
Joe, we'll let you go first.
I think it was a pretty close game.
Well, I don't know about that.
It was good. To be honest, I think this is a really neat two-player game that plays pretty quick. And I really think with three players, the game actually played just fine. It didn't really slow down too much. We had some nice just talking and banter in between. For myself, I didn't expect to go up the research track that quickly, but the resources fell into my hands. I think the assistance I got and were upgraded at the appropriate time, especially to get those arrowheads. I think that was pretty tough. I didn't think Devin and Paul they didn't explore too much in the main board, so they didn't have a whole lot of those relic tokens. So I think that maybe try to get those early, and I used them pretty early, but I think that elevated me for the rest of the game. It was a good game.
Yeah,
It
so
was
I agree with you on the relic tokens, right? This game I didn't have any, and I also felt behind this whole game, right? I think getting them early and using them exactly like you did is kind of a key because it's not free resource. That's probably not the correct term to use, but it's that in the early stages when you're so resource starved, it is a way of getting those resources to continue your turn, to not pass, right? To be able to do just a couple more things. And having that, I think, helps kind of snowball, right? That would be kind of the best way to put it.
Yeah,
right. I think with the action economy, like we talked about, just the getting the couple more at the beginning to vault myself up a little bit was pretty good. I know I took those fast two fear cards. I saw you guys kind of advancing up the track quite a bit, and you guys took my spaces that I'd like to go to. Especially on the first turn, it's important to take a lot of those easy spaces and to
Right.
realize what you want to do on turn number two.
yeah. At the beginning of the game, like you were saying, Joe, like we didn't go in the middle there, in the second or the third one, and it was really kind of like fighting in my head. Like, do I want to spend these compasses to go there, or do I want to try to use them for other to buy the blue cards at the top? But like you said, Devin, I really do think that you need to go there at the beginning because that's exactly what it does. It snowballs, and then you can get more resources. Then you can research more, and go from there. This is yours and I second play of the game. The first time we played I thought it was pretty good. I definitely think I got the hang of it more this time playing.
Yeah. So, one thing I'm going to say, because I just like to have total openness when I talk about these games and really give my thoughts, is the snowball, like we mentioned a couple times, right? I feel like this game really has that. It's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Like, I'm the type of person, and I'm trying not to say this in a way that sounds like I'm being a sore loser, because I don't mind, right? I just like to have fun and play games, right? I do feel, because I saw this exact same scenario happen the last time, Paul, you and I played, right? I was the one on the snowball, right? And our scores very much reflected that. I don't know. To me, it feels like the person that takes the lead can very easily just keep and hold that lead. And especially the way the research track plays out, paying the two or three resources and then also getting the bonus for being the first one there is massive. It's, you're getting something back and everybody following you isn't. So not only do you get it that step, but then the very next step you get it, and the next step you get it. And yeah, although it has branching paths and lets people hit it, could possibly get it a different way. I don't know. As I said, in the both playthroughs I've seen, one person has been able to kind of take that and really roll with it.
I think it's the action economy. If you're the first one in the middle of the board, then you get the relic token, and you can use that relic token as another action. And if you on the research track, if you're the first one up there, so it kind of has that snowbally, like we said, but it uses that relic token because there's so many times in the game that I'm sure you guys can share. It's if I only had this, if I only
Right.
had an extra arrowhead, if I only had an extra this. Well, I think those relic tokens give you that opportunity. Because yeah, Paul, you're right. You're spending 3 compass tokens to put a meeple out there. Then you have to defeat an ancient one. But you also have to remember you're getting that relic token that you can put on your board. You get the bonus from the relic token. If you do beat the monster, you get another little bonus.
Yeah,
It's
and the victory points, right? That's, I mean, because there are 3 victory points each, right? Talking about whatever 5% of your overall score, or a little bit more for me and Paul. So that's nothing to forget
And I
either.
think if I didn't have a way to get rid of the fear card through my assistant, I think the game would have turned out way differently. Because this isn't like a game like Dominion. You're not building this, I don't know, super intense like engine building. You're building a
Right.
small engine, and any little kink, any fear card you draw can really hamper you.
Yeah.
What do you
Well,
So,
guys
yeah.
think about that?
go
Going back
ahead.
to that, like what you said, it's not really a true deck builder game. Buying the cards, I feel like, is really important the first 2 rounds, maybe three. But after that, you're not going to see them over and over again, right? You might see them once again, and is it really going to benefit you? The only benefit that I had at the end was just buying it for the victory points, right? That was all I could do, but it's victory points. Why not get them? But yeah, like it's just kind of more cards to have in your deck for no real reason.
Yeah, I agree with what you said on the fear cards, right? If you don't have a way of clearing them, they're very impactful, right? Like their negative points is honestly that's not the important part of them. It's the fact that your deck is, I finished with a deck of 10 cards, right? So if I had 3 fear cards in there, right, it's 30% of the deck. So yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's what makes them really huge.
And it
Yeah.
can negate those, if you do get because I got a couple item cards, the horse and the pack mule or something that let me draw cards. Well, if I draw, a fear card, well, that's not doing me any good. I want to draw something that'll benefit. So if I can draw into more items or draw into artifact, I don't think I got a lot of artifacts until the end. But I think that's interesting about this game is you start with items and you slowly gravitate more towards the artifacts.
I will
So,
say the fear
oh, go
cards
ahead.
though aren't always like super bad because they do allow you to go to the bottom campsite, right? Like you can at least use them for the boots, and so they do have some purpose.
Yeah, that I
Not that
guess
you can't
yes, that
use.
part is very true.
I mean, you can still use boats and
Until you get
planes.
two in your hand.
That's true. But you can go to that 2 arrowhead or whatever, or
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's it. But I don't know. I mean, you can still use boats and airplanes or whatever, but they're not completely useless. Like you don't necessarily want to exile them at the beginning. You kind of want to do that at the later rounds.
So let me ask you guys, not like talking about just this base game, no expansion or anything. How much replayability do you think is here?
I would definitely play it again. Um, it's not going to be one of my first choice games. It's a lot of different games put in one, and I'm not a huge fan of that. It's not a true deck builder. It's not a true worker placement. It's just a mixture of everything. Is it a game that I'd play again? Yeah. Am I going to go out and try to play it again? Probably not.
Joe, what
I
about
I
you?
100% agree with you, Paul. It doesn't really scratch that itch for me either. It's not a Dominion deck builder.
Hmm.
It's not a terraforming Mars engine builder. It's not a worker placement, Lords of Waterdeep. It tried for a lot of things, and for me, it didn't really hit all of them. It didn't do anything great. However, I think it's an easy game to get to the table, and I think us three could easily pick this up in a couple months and learn it just like that, unlike some of these other games where we'd have to read a thicker rule book. The gameplay is much easier.
Okay, so I like that, right? I was kind of wanting to hear y'all's opinion first because mine is I'm not gonna say this game is a complete miss for me, but it is not my top game. It's very lukewarm on the thing. One, I don't know how much difference there is playthrough to play. I mean, I do understand that yeah, different spaces come out in the middle and different guardians come out, but what is really different between them? It's either getting this resource or that resource, right? It's either defeating the guardian and getting a boat icon or a motor icon. It's I don't know. I just don't see like I wouldn't want to play this. It's not one of those type of games I would just want to let me go back and play this right now. Let's put it all back together, start over and play, right? Like we're playing
it
the exact same game, right?
the game's not going to be what we plan a Friday night over. We're not going to say, "Hey, let's get a board game night going and let's get out this game." It's not going to be that. It'll
Right.
be, "Hey, we finished our main game. We've got this one. It's pretty easy. We all know the rules. We don't have to relearn it. Let's play this one."
Yeah,
That
I
that that's kind
definitely
of what it is to me.
see it in there.
And for me, I think, a lot of these games, and Devin, I know you share my sentiment, Paul. I don't know how you feel, but this game for me, it feels like it ends just so soon. 5 turns, for this little game, it's fine. But when I want like a capstone game for the night, when I want to spend an hour to an hour and a half playing a game, I want it to feel like it doesn't just end. 5 turns for me feels really short. What about you guys?
Yeah, so I agree. I think that really comes from it wants to, like you guys were saying, it tries a little bit of everything, and it really wants to feel like an engine builder game, but it ends too quick to really do that. So I'm gonna put you, Joe, for example, right? You really had a pretty good engine going. You were drawing cards. You were getting the stuff you needed. You really only got to use that though real effectively round five. Like just as you kind of complete all the pieces that you need to really start doing what you want to do, right? The stuff you bought turn one, two, three falls into place turn five, and then that's the end of the game.
However, what you guys didn't see was my turn 4 was actually really bad. My cards were I got a fear card and it was 2 gold and 2 compass. So my turn 4 was terrible, where all my items actually showed up turn 5. So it gave me that big last push. But
Right.
my turn 4, I was like, well, this is a dud turn. Yes, I did some stuff. You can always do things in this game, which I always think is neat, and
Yeah.
there's always something to do, but it didn't feel like an impactful turn.
And the thing with what you're saying, like your turn four was a bad draw. Like, what if that would have happened turn five? Like, you
Hmm.
would have done some stuff turn four still, but your turn five would have been completely different. So it's pretty much luck of the draw with here because it's so short. Really, you only have like one or two chances to put a good move together, and if you don't, it sucks.
Right, you have 9 cards, and you better hope that the ones you bought are the 5 top ones.
Yeah.
Right. Or the ones that you just played this turn and you're about to draw two and then shuffle your deck that comes back out, right? Because that's the
Hmm.
one you really wanted. Um,
And if you bought an artifact turn 3 or 4, and because you got to play it, well, then you better hope that you have a tablet. Because I know Paul was having, you just needed one
Yep.
tablet, and you could have had a more impactful turn 5.
Yep.
But
yeah.
that's the card you drew. Maybe because you picked it up turn 3 or 4. The predictability of what's coming up, you don't really feel like you're thinning the deck as much as some of these other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you, Devin, you really like when we'll play Clank, the Quest for El Dorado. You do a real good job of thinning that deck. You get rid of the cards that you don't need,
Yeah.
and and then at the end, you're really just playing everything that you want. There is no fear cards or whatever coming out at that point. And while the fear cards do something here, yeah, I mean there are better cards than that. There's just not enough time to play it how you want to.
Yeah, I think that's kind of exactly it, right? And I think I'll be honest, I think this playthrough specifically, I a bit misplayed. If you look at like my final hand situation, right? I think I trashed a total of 4 cards, my 2 fear cards, and then I trashed I know 1 coin and I think something else. And it left me with my final 10 cards or whatever, 5 are artifact cards that I really couldn't actually afford to play. I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, again, it's a game, right? You guys say you want to play it again, right? In a month. Okay, I'll play it and I'll have fun, but it's just never going to be one that I'm itching to play.
What I do like about it though is the tight rule set. There's not a lot of fiddliness, so you can't really mess up too much. Do you have enough to move up the track or do you not?
Right.
What can you do? What can't you do? The one action. The rule set is really good for what it is. It's just for me, I'm like you, Devin. It's just it didn't quite hit the good to great game mark. Kind of
Yeah.
just lukewarm.
Overall, I think it's a okay game. I think we all kind of think the same on it. Would we play it again? Maybe. Are we all going to go out search for it? Probably not. That's kind of our thoughts on Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yeah, so again, Joe, thank you so much for joining us. Please, everybody, go check out his channel. It really is awesome. He has a lot of great information. His reviews are great. I highly recommend it. But yeah, thank you for coming, Joe.
Yep, thank you guys. It was awesome. Glad to see some good friends, play a fun game for a night, and look forward to if you ever want a third again, just let me know.
For sure, for sure.
Definitely.
All right, guys, please like, subscribe, comment, all of that great stuff. We really do appreciate you guys being a part of our channel, helping make it grow. Please go do the same for Joe's channel, help make it grow, and we'll see you guys on the next one.